Okay, so again, in the middle of mixing an album, and we heard a solo we wanted to redo. So we did 3 tracks, and it is Gibson Les Paul Special, Gibson Les Paul Custom, and a Strat. All right, now I'm going to walk you through the signal chain. And this is simply overdubbing a solo. I'll show you what I did. So here's the guitars. Les Paul Special. You've seen these in my other videos. Les Paul Custom. And a Strat. Now, currently, I have it panned one to the left, one to the right, and one up the center. In the final mix, I might use all 3. I might only use 1 up the center. I might use part of 1 here, part of 1 there. It all depends on the final mix, and that's what we're working on. So, let me walk you through the signal chain. Let me show you how I mic this up. I set up these mics really fast, and when I have a band in or any musicians in, I do tried and true stuff that I've done before that works. Every album I like to do different stuff, but for a solo overdub like this, last minute, I grab the mics that I trust that work, and I do setups that I trust that work. So, had them tune the guitars, and I picked this amp. With this band for this album, we dialed in some awesome tones from the beginning. This is going back all the way when we tracked it. So I set this up, and this is a JMP 100 watt. It has 6550 tubes in it. This thing is awesome. G25 blackback speakers. It's the same thing as a greenback. Exact same thing, but they're blackbacks. All right, so here's how I have it mic'd. I have 3 microphones on it. A Beyer M201 on the left speaker, a Beyer M160 dual ribbon mic on the right speaker, and then about 4.5 feet, 5 feet back, I have a Sony C38. I have it in cardioid, picking up the sweet spot. You move your head around, you find that high-end crunch, and you blend these 3 together. I'm going to show you how I did that. These 3 microphones are coming through a snake back there, and I have 3 API 312s from Wally Heider recording studio desk. 1, 2, 3. So those are unmuted. And then I have the Beyer M201, the Beyer M160, and the Sony C38. You can see I got phantom power there. Those 3 mics are right here on my patch bay. They're coming out, going into my summing mixer. Into my summing mixer right there, API. This is loaded with API 325 cards. So these 3 mics are going in to the right side of my summing mixer. I'm coming out, see this red cable? Mono out into the burls. So I'm taking 3 mics. I get a good mix going into my summing mixer. I take a mono out of my summing mixer, and I commit those 3 mics to 1 track. So those 3 mics, 1 track. It's not 1, 2, 3. All 3 of those mics are going to 1 track. Then I had them switch guitars. Another track. All 3 mics to another track. Then I had them switch a guitar to the Strat. All 3 mics to another track. So that's the way we did it. So then I had the mix coming out, spread across the board with all this outboard gear on it. And I have it coming out to channel 17 and 18. And then the Strat up the center, 17 and 18. So it's the Les Paul Special, the Les Paul Custom, and then the Strat's coming up the center. So that's how I do that. That's committing 3 microphones to 1 mono track. And yes, of course, I could have recorded all 3 microphones separate in there and blended, and then had a million different options that I don't want, especially when a band's sitting in on the mix. I rather just get a great sound, make sure it's phase correct, and it was. When I had the two close mics, the Beyer M21 and the M160, when he was playing the guitar, before I had the Sony C38 muted, if I flipped the phase on either mic, the M160 or the M201, you could not hear it at all. It completely canceled out. So that's great, and that's what you want. So, and then I would flip the room mic, the distant mic in, the Sony C38, get a good blend, all three into my summing mixer, mono out in the Pro Tools, and that's what we have. And that is overdubbing.